Well, greetings once again. It's been a little while since we have been in touch through these video blogs. It's been a very, very busy time, certainly for me. I'll tell you a little bit about that, but not the least of the items in my world has been handing over the reins of the Theosophical Society in America into the very able hands of Barbara Hebert, who is the new president of the Theosophical Society here. So that's been something that has had its own share of busyness and involvement. Also, there's been a certain amount of travel that has been going on, this time in Europe. I'm going to show you some pictures of some of your fellow members and from around the world, but particularly the European Federation of the Theosophical Society. It has a Congress, a European Congress that takes place every 3 years. Last time it was in Paris. This year it was hosted by the Spanish section in Barcelona, or as they say in that part of the world, Barcelona. Wonderfully executed conference. Everybody felt the warmth and the welcome. Some really top-flight presentations by our members and a very good opportunity to connect with fellow members who had gathered to share things that are going on in their section and in the theosophical world. So that was something that took place for about a week in Spain. From there it was on to Lisbon in Portugal and also the city of Porto, where I had an opportunity to meet with both members in members' meetings and also with public meetings. Very good, very active section in Portugal as well. Small country, but very, very much involved in this theosophical work, as you'll get a chance to see. Also beautiful. I mean, the Porto as well as Lisbon are beautiful locations. Also get a chance to show you some of that. The European trip ended up in Naarden in the Netherlands at the International Theosophical Center there. So there we had a chance to do programs over the course of a couple of days, about 3 or 4 days. So it was an open day that was held for fellow groups that also take part in the workings there at the center and for the public. So on the open day, it was also helped to be introduced by the mayor, who is actually in the process of, for the very first time, they're combining 4 separate municipalities into one. Very far-seeing sort of fellow, unusual type of man to be in public office. So it was good to have a chance to chat with him. So show you some things from there and the meeting that took place with the International Theosophical Center, the ITC's council, which is made up of members from around Europe. Had a chance to meet. So a lot of things going on. Take you on this little trip around the world. Have a chance to see some of the things that your fellow members from different parts of the world are involved in. What they look like, how it is that they conduct their meetings, those sorts of things. So as always, I hope you enjoy, and I welcome your feedback.
Well, it's been a busy couple of months since the last time I did one of these blogs, moving out of my office and then packing up my home to move into Chicago. Also had a lovely farewell party with old friends John Kern and Ann Kern, Pete Patterson, and the entire Alcott staff. Beautiful time, lovely presentation, Pat Griebler as the mistress of ceremonies. And on the cake, what I seem to have been saying recently, it's been a good run. And it was time to hit the road again, this time to Barcelona for the Spanish section hosting the European Theosophical Congress. It occurs every 3 years. 3 years ago it was in Paris, and then it was decided that the next one would be in Barcelona. And it was a beautiful city. We stayed at the Residencia Universidad of Sevilla, and it was wonderful accommodations. The food was lovely. The accommodations were great. The rooms, couldn't have asked for more. My attendance there began with a meeting of the European Federation's Council. So, of course, I participated in that with its chairman, Kim Dieu from France, who is also the former president of the French section. Here you see members of the European Federation Council. This lady, Victoria, designed all of the logo and did all of the painting. This fan, she did 200 of these fans, painted them individually for each member who attended. Really, really beautiful work, and typical of the sort of welcome that was given by the Spanish section. Meetings of the Congress were held at the auditorium of the Academy of Medical Sciences, a beautiful hall. About 220 people registered in all, so it was quite a well-attended affair. The opening was presided over by Tran Thi Kim Dew, the president of the European Federation, and the head of the Spanish section, Angeles Tora Buron. We had greetings from members across the spectrum from all over Europe, as well as some of our people who were there from the United States as well. Also, allied groups of Theosophists, Herman Vermeulen from the Point Loma group. Here is Ana Maria Sosa from Portugal, who would host me later. It was a wonderful opportunity to get together with friends, longtime friends, to make new friends as well, here with members from the Ukraine and from Hungary. The inaugural address was, of course, delivered by the international president, so that was part of my role in the conference. A good deal of time was spent really in conversation with members who had come from all parts of Europe as well as the United States. All of the events were live streamed as well as archived online in YouTube format. The very high level of technical expertise with the Spanish section, all members, by the way. We had an evening of entertainment which featured a comic routine which included some of our caballeros and also featured El Niño de Chicago. And you may have guessed that was me. So it was wonderful, fun evening that was actually followed by some real entertainment. A beautiful evening of entertainment by the Barcelona Guitar Trio. Some of the best music of this type that I have had an occasion to hear. Their encore presentation was really something quite creative and unexpected. Check it out for yourself. During the course of the event, there were a number of very, very high-level presentations that were given. There were people who spoke from all across Europe. Jenny Baker from England, of course, the president, Kim Dew from France, Jose Tarago from Spain, Antonio Girardi, Fernando de Torrijos from the United States, who also is from Madrid originally, Jay Sri Kannan, the head of the archives in Adyar. All of them had a chance to present at different times during the week that we were there. Closed with a panel which consisted of 4 people: Jenny Baker, Kim Dew, myself, and Angelus. During the course of the event, there was also a crew there that was doing a documentary on the Spanish section. And in case you thought it was all work and no play, I don't know who was the better at the pool table, the Swiss, the Italians, or the Swedish, all of whom really put in good effort. We also had a trip to Montserrat, and the cathedral there, and the Black Madonna and Child. Beautiful place. It was about an hour's drive that we took 2 buses to get up to the top of the hill. Montserrat is for like serrated mountain, and you can see it right there. The surroundings and the cathedral itself are quite beautiful. And of course the Black Madonna is something special. In addition to holding the Christ child in one arm, she also holds the world in her other hand. And it's open so that you can put your hand on that and get the blessing from the Black Madonna. Then it was on to Lisbon, Portugal. I was very much impressed with all of the tile fronts on so many of the houses there. It's a beautiful, beautiful way of doing the architecture, and so many different styles that they had. Was hosted there by Ana Maria Sousa, who had come back from the conference in Barcelona, and had a couple of meetings at the Lisbon Theosophical Society, Sociedad Teosófica of Portugal. Had a meeting with the members on one evening and then a public meeting on the next evening. It's a beautiful quarters that they have there. One of the members, who is a designer, assisted in laying out the place. Very, very well done. Very tasteful and very open and airy and inviting. I was really quite fortunate to work with an excellent translator. One of the best I've ever worked with, Isabel, shown here. We went out into the evening and they showed me around Lisbon well into the night. After that, the next stop was Porto in the north of Portugal. Porto is these days recognized as one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. And the members took me on a walk around town. We walked about 6 or 7 kilometers that afternoon before our meeting to show me why. All of the tile work, the beautiful churches. It's a very, very special place. That evening it was time for a meeting with the members at the Society's headquarters there. Beautiful space. There was about 30 members or so. Among them was Homa Sipe, who is a Quest author in the TPH in the United States, and he also designed the logo for the Singapore conference coming up in 2018. Had a chance to present me with the artwork. Then it was on to Naarden and the International Theosophical Center in the Netherlands. They had scheduled an open day where many groups who participate in the programs at Naarden were invited to come and to present different things to the public. It was a very, very beautiful afternoon. Weather in the Netherlands can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes you don't know when it's going to rain, but it was a beautiful time. Well-attended event. Had a chance to meet with many of the people there and take part in the opening. Before the meeting began, I had an opportunity to meet with and to talk to the mayor of the area. He's involved in consolidating 4 different municipal areas into one. Quite a visionary fellow and quite well disposed toward the Theosophical Society and its work there in Naarden. It's good to talk with him. We shared the podium as the event opened, and then it was time for the various groups to give brief presentations about the work that they do. This one obviously had something else on his mind. But each group, from the round table, a couple of meditation groups, Sufi group, all of these are members who participate in the work of the International Theosophical Center. Om Shalom Salam. Om Shalom Salam. Om Each of the groups had a booth, and they had a chance to also give presentations throughout the afternoon at various different locations. This one was with the round table, have a rond.
Uitstaande over alles wat bestaat. Engelen, mensen, dieren, planten en stenen.
Mainly it was a time for fellowship and just to get to meet with people that you know and new people. So it was a good pollination of people across different groups coming through during the course of the day. Here are my little photographers. I had given them the camera and they took some of the pictures that you'll be seeing during the course of this. The next day I had a chance to speak to members in a couple of meetings. There were meetings just for members and then another larger public meeting. Lunch and breakfast always takes place around the table, and then we had a meeting of the International Theosophical Centers Council. It's been a busy time, but really a beautiful reminder of the sincerity and devotion and scope of this theosophical work around the world.